In the perfect classroom, school, and district, all students would begin the school year at the same performance level and with the same set of skills. And teachers would be able to provide the same instruction for all students. The reality is that all students are unique, and they enter our schools and classrooms at different levels. Regardless of where students start the school year, they are still expected to reach the same proficiency target. But how much gain should students make each year? People may disagree with the amount of gain students should make, but most people will agree that the role of educators is to take children from where they start and add value to their educational progress. The truth is that quality schools and educators add value in many ways, some that can be measured and some that cannot.
I think it's critical to have achievement data and progress data because they tell us different things. But it's even more powerful when we use the two together.
As a school board member, using PBAS in conjunction with other data will have tremendous value to ensuring all students are on the path to proficiency.
Let's focus on what can be measured with students: student achievement and student progress, and the importance of measuring both. Achievement, progress. In education, these two words are often used interchangeably, but in fact they have entirely different meanings. Achievement is measured by how well a student performs against a standard at a single point in time. In contrast, progress is measured by how much gain or growth students make over the course of one school year. By using academic achievement and academic progress measures, schools and districts have a more robust and comprehensive picture of their effectiveness in raising student achievement.
It's important to measure both achievement and progress because achievement data only tells you what you're doing at one point in time. And traditionally it's what parents and the community expect to hear, but it doesn't tell you where you're going. Progress data tells you where you've been and where you can expect to be a year from now if you don't make any changes. And you can identify areas where you aren't doing as well as you would like, and you can make those changes before it becomes a problem.
Let's look at an example of why measuring the growth and achievement of a cohort of students is important. Looking at this graph, notice the achievement of a cohort of students in School A from 5th, 6th, and 7th grades. School A had 90% of its 5th grade students above the proficiency bar. When these same students moved to the 6th and 7th grades, that percentage slipped from 90% to 86% in 6th grade, and dipped even further in 7th grade to approximately 74%. Even though all of these percentages are greater than the AYP target for proficiency, it is clear that the performance of this cohort in School A declined over these 3 years.
Some of our highest achieving students were not even making grade level progress year over year. Here we are, a high achieving school district with very good PSSA scores, and we thought we were doing everything right. And it turns out that some of our best and brightest students weren't really making the progress year over year.
In contrast, School B had 13% of its students proficient in 5th grade, well below the AYP target. As these students moved from 5th grade to 6th grade, the cohort went from 13% proficiency to 27% proficiency, and then to 49% proficiency in 7th grade. While School B was below the AYP target, it is clear that this cohort was making significant growth, resulting in increased student proficiency. In many systems, School A would be considered successful, while School B would be considered in need of improvement, when in reality, they both have strengths and areas for improvement. A standards-based system recognizes both achievement and progress.
For me, not only as a school board member, but as a father with children in the school system, I think it's important that we have this type of data compiling tool so that it can be understood by school board members who don't have the educational background. And I like the fact that it's a broad range of use. It doesn't just apply to remedial students, it applies to students at all levels and of all abilities.
Traditionally, districts have viewed their performance using achievement data such as the PSSA. The PSSA, like other achievement tests, provides information on how students perform against state standards and whether they have met end-of-year expectations. But this information does not tell us how much academic growth or gain students make from year to year. In this high-stakes assessment and accountability environment, school board members and educators need a complete, accurate picture of student performance from year to year.
I think what board members across the country would probably want to know is how are we doing? Not just today, but how are we doing over time? What's the progress in the school district? Where are the weaknesses? Where do we need to focus our efforts? So value-added assessment, I think they would find very quickly, is a great way to help focus their attention on that and help them make the right decisions.
Now that we've established the need for progress measures, we can address how value-added analysis and PVAS fit into the picture. Value-added analysis is a meaningful way to calculate the influence a district and school have on the academic progress rates of their students. The value-added approach in our state is called the Pennsylvania Value-Added Assessment System, or PVAS. PVAS is provided to all school districts in Pennsylvania and is the only tool in the state that provides information on the growth of cohorts of students and projections of individual students' future performance. PVAS reporting on student progress complements information derived from other data tools, such as Data Interactive by eMetric, Foresight data, and local assessment data.
We introduced PVAS through the Getting Results model, the continuous improvement framework from PDE. So as we went through our data sources, PVAS being one of them, I addressed PVAS and the use of PVAS and how it will be utilized in the school district.
Integrating PVAS information with other data sources deepens educators' knowledge about students' academic progress. PVAS can also be used to project the future academic performance of individual students. PVAS projection reports summarize the number and percentage of students likely to perform at the proficient level on a future PSSA exam. Educators can use projection data to identify students who are at risk or those who need to be further challenged.
We've used PVAS information to meet with parents in the fall conference, and that's been terrifically helpful because many school directors and educators will say that their biggest challenge is bringing the parents on board in terms of making change with respect to their child.
Growth information and projection data serve different purposes, but both are equally important for continuous school improvement. The Pennsylvania Value-Added Assessment System has many benefits. With PVAS, school board members are better able to identify which groups of students are making expected growth or are making more or less than the expected amount of growth in a given school year, measure the impact of educational practices, curricula, and professional development on student performance, and make better informed, data-driven decisions about where to allocate resources to help students make greater progress and perform at higher levels.
We believe that it's important for every student's academic progress to be monitored. Every student in our classroom, every student in our district should grow academically every year. And we need a way to be able to monitor that. The PVAS data will help us to do that. In addition, it will help us to monitor success across the district. We'll be able to look at equity across the districts. Our achievement levels we expect to be the same for every elementary school and every middle school. PVAS will be a tool that we will use to help make sure that that's happening.
PSBA supports value-added analysis because it is a way of tracking progress. There's a real fixation, I think, on taking snapshots and assuming that that's showing us where a school district stands. And it's helpful information, but what's really much more important is to see how are we doing, or how are we progressing, and where are the shortcomings. One of the other reasons I think it's important, frankly, is for us to be able to talk candidly with communities about student performance and about school achievement. There's a lot of good things happening in Pennsylvania public schools, but we have a lot of work to do, and I think the public respects the fact that we're able to say here's where we're doing well, here's where we have work to do, and here's how we're aligning our resources to make that better.
For additional information on value-added analysis, or PVAS, visit www.pde.state.pa.us or email pdepvas@iu13.org or call 717-606-1911.